Microhistory and History of Education, from below, Epistemological and Methodological Issues. This chapter examines the development of the microhistorical paradigm in the theory of historiography and, more specifically, refers to the penetration of this methodology in the field of the history of education. It is a theoretical overview of the field as far as possible. First, the origins of the emergence of the microhistorical paradigm by historians in the period 1960 to 1970 are discussed. The key theoretical principles influencing the emergence of microhistorical methodology are then listed with a focus on the theory of interpretive anthropology, the linguistic turn, and power relations. It then discusses protagonists of the implementation of microhistorical methodology mainly in Italian historiography as well as the influences of Italian historians abroad. This is followed by the listing of some key features concerning the implementation of the microhistorical approach to historical research. The major innovation of this chapter focuses on the connection that is made between the field of the history of education and bottom-up historical research methodology. For this reason, key references are made to the themes in the history of education around which this methodology can be applied. In the conclusions of the chapter, it is suggested that this methodology can be used through the co-examination of archival materials that usually relate to microhistorical research, e.g. diaries, autobiographies, oral histories, etc., together with evidence that would otherwise not be considered in such a perspective. During the 1960s and 1970s, a major transformation took place in how historians approached the past. Instead of focusing mainly on political leaders, wars, and major events, historians began to pay attention to ordinary people and everyday life. This shift was influenced by changes in society, such as youth movements and new ideas from fields like sociology, anthropology, and psychology. As a result, social history emerged, aiming to understand the lives of the poor, workers, and common people, along with their cultures and experiences. In Britain, key historians like E.P. Thompson and Eric Hobsbawm led this change by highlighting the role of the working class. At the same time, there was growing interest in using storytelling and individual experiences in historical writing, which some felt had been lost due to earlier trends focused on statistics and economic data. In France, a group of historians known as the Annales School moved towards studying culture and human behavior, helping to lay the groundwork for what became known as microhistory. This approach looks closely at small-scale, detailed cases, like one village or individual, to understand larger historical patterns. It was influenced by developments in anthropology, especially the idea that symbols, rituals, and everyday actions carry deep meaning. Postmodern ideas also played a key role by questioning traditional historical narratives and emphasizing the importance of individual voices and interpretations. Thinkers like Michel Foucault and Hayden White encouraged historians to reconsider how history is written and what counts as historical knowledge. Together, these movements reshaped historical research, encouraging a more human-centered approach. Microhistory emerged as a method that focuses on the experiences of those often ignored by mainstream history, using culture and interpretation as key tools. This chapter explores how the ideas of microhistory, studying history from the viewpoint of everyday people, can be applied to the history of education. Instead of focusing only on official reports or high-level decisions, it suggests looking at schools, teachers, and students to understand how education was actually experienced. While microhistorical studies in education are still rare, especially in Greece, some have used student-created materials like friendship books to uncover these personal stories. The chapter also proposes a broader approach, using official school records and interpreting them from the perspective of those affected, like students or teachers, rather than administrators. It encourages combining these top-level documents with personal sources such as oral histories to get a fuller, more human picture of educational history. Overall, it offers new directions for researching education from below, putting real people's experiences at the center of historical inquiry. This important article is authored by the following scientists: Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel BP International to watch more videos in the fields of science, technology and medicine.